I have been always concerned about sustainability because we have an increased global population. If we are using the natural resources as we are using right now, we cannot feed the world population, especially on rice. So I did my PhD on agriculture and environmental science, and I started to work with rice, and I kept working with rice since my PhD. Rice is an important crop in the world. Rice provides 20% of the calorie consumption in the world. It has a high environmental impact. Rice is grown under flooding conditions, so that means there is a large water consumption. And because of that flooded conditions in the soil, those anaerobic conditions created in the soil, it produces methane because of the organic matter decomposition. So in those two areas, we can improve a lot, and we can improve the sustainability of the rice production. It's heavy, yeah. This is a flow meter. So with the propeller, when the farmer is pumping, we are tracking the water. What I need is records of the flow meter, reading this value, recording time, date. Then we can calculate at the end of the season how much water they apply to the field.
Beatriz there helps process the data. That's stuff that I probably would never get to if it wasn't somebody there to help and push me along.
Arkansas is the first rice producer in the U.S., so that's why it's a really good place to work on rice and improving sustainability practice in rice. So I'm working with different farmers in the state, and they are willing and eager to implement new practice, and we are tracking the water savings they are doing. We also measure in some of the fields greenhouse gas emissions and methane, so we can prove scientifically that they are saving water, they are reducing the carbon footprint of the crop.
Hey Beatriz, how are you? It's good to see you.
The FieldPrint platform has a lot of inputs that we need to get from the farmers. The rotation they do, how much fertilizer they apply, the tillage. So I sit down with the farmers after the growing season when they are done with all the field work, and we chat. It has been really useful for them to see the metric about greenhouse gas, and especially due to the methane, because some of them didn't know about that.
When I see that we're not close to the center of that graph, I want to know why. I want to get as close to the center of that graph as I can, just as a steward of the land. And she does a good job of explaining that. I can't think of a person that I would rather work with on a project like this.
I like from FieldPrint platform that I can do different scenarios. So I take the same data from the farm and I say, what will happen if you burn your residue, incorporate your straw, or if you apply less water? So that's changing one input, and then you get a different output. We have a project in partnership with Unilever and Riviana, and this project has the goal to decrease the water use per rice produced in Arkansas. We monitor water table with this sensor that we put in this pipe, so we can monitor also water table below the ground. So when we implement water-saving practice, we decrease the water use, but at the same time, we decrease methane emissions. So our farmers can get benefit of those practices. They are growing rice sustainable. About 75% of the rice grown in the world is grown in continuously flooded conditions. So that means if we apply these techniques of drying down fields and having aerobic soil conditions for a few days, we are decreasing the methane. And that will happen here in Arkansas, in China, in Japan. So of course, we need to adapt to every country. But the idea about reducing water use and reducing methane emission has to be done in every country. We cannot keep doing that if we want to keep feeding the population.